I've got my R5 here, and I do have a camcorder I use for live streaming, but sometimes I use this as the second camera, and also it's a good backup. And you can see I've kind of rigged it up. I'm going to talk about that a bit more in a moment. And I'm kind of thinking maybe that actually the new R5C will be good for live streaming because it is actually designed for not having that 30-minute limit. But you do run into issues such as power and so on. So what I've got set up here is I've put a cage around. This is the R5. By the way, this will work on other R series cameras in the EOS range. And so like I've done this with my EOS R as well. But I'm really thinking that the R5C might cover a whole load of bases. So I've got the cage on here. I've got a little adapter here, which you can see on the side, and you'll have seen some of this in a previous video I did. Well, actually the one I did just before this one. And this is an HDMI adapter. So it screws onto the side of the cage over here. And then there's a short cable leading to the micro HDMI, and I can then easily just plug anything in there. So here it's going into the Ninja 5, but it could be going off on a longer cable to wherever, to the computer that is actually streaming from. So it's quite good, and it kind of keeps it all in place. And some people don't like the micro HDMI, so this kind of overcomes it a little bit, and that just plugs in there. And what I'm going to do is it's going to go into my Ninja, because I'm not going to record on here because this has only got the 30-minute limit. Now with the R5C I would get around that, so I probably wouldn't need this, although recording on the Ninja is useful and actually gives me a monitor as well, and you can see I've got the battery there. But the other thing I've added here, which I've talked about in the previous video, is this power bank. So this power bank actually, it's great because this is the Anker Powercore Plus 26,800 milliamp hours with 45 watts. It's power delivery, PD. And power delivery means it is powering the camera, as opposed to when you have these ports here. These are more for trickle charging things like your phones and iPads and things. But this power delivery will actually power some of the MacBooks as well, so, and other computers. So this has got a lot of power in it. It will give me, based on using the LPE6NH battery, about 12.5 times more capacity. So that's 12.5 times more runtime. So if you're using the LPE6N, it's even more. This setup doesn't work with the LPE6 batteries. So it has to be the N or the NH for this to work. Now this is powering it, and I can see on the back of the screen here that my battery here is showing in green, which means it's powering as opposed to normally in white. So I could take a cable from here now and just another HDMI, and it could be a much longer cable going to the computer, but I can also put it into a Teradek, which is a wireless transmitter. So that would just plug in there. So we'll do that in just a moment. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I've got my Teradek here. I've got this dummy battery thing, so I can put my Sony style battery on, which is the NP style battery. And it's got this little mini ball head here with a screw on it. And I can just screw this onto the cage. You could put it on one of the cold shoes over here. Just so you know, if you watch my other video, you'll hear a bit more about it. This has got a cheese plate, which gives me more places I can screw things into. So that's on. Let me just, that's on there, or it's almost on. Sorry, I loosened it too soon. And let's just loosen that a bit. A little bit fiddly. Maybe I should have done that before. And there you go. And then I can put that battery on here. So this is the Teradek Ace 500. It will give a range line of sight 500 feet. Not too bad. It's that line of sight that's not too bad. Although the other day we were live streaming from a kitchen that was in a basement, a professional kitchen. We were upstairs. There weren't any doors or anything in the way, but it did actually transmit to the top of the stairs. I wouldn't try 500 feet. It was probably more about 15 meters. What's that, about 45 feet? So not too bad. I don't know if it would have gone further. But these are great. And if you're in those kind of situations, then this can be really useful. It's great as well if directors just want to monitor what you're doing, so you can transmit it to the transmitter, you can transmit it to the receiver, and that can be attached to a monitor or even something like another Ninja 5. I'm going to now plug that in there and then come out to here, and then the computer has the receiver attached to it. So as I said, this cable could come out here and it could go off to directly into a capture card such as the Camlink 4K or the A10 Mini, Mini Pro, and so on. There's lots of different capture cards. So, but I kind of like this setup. In truth, I do avoid wireless when I can, so if I'm right by it, I wouldn't do that. But this does work really well. So you're not going to be recording on the camera, but you still need to tell it not to switch off, say after a few minutes or 30 minutes or so on. So I'm just going to go into the menu. I am in my settings here, which is the spanner, and you can see that I'm on the second one. And if I go into power saving, I'm going to make sure that the auto power off is switched to disable. And I'm also going to just press the menu to go back again. Eco mode is already off. And there was something back here that I saw as well. If I go back to my camera here, this standby low res, I switch that to off so that it doesn't do this low res output when it's doing it. So there you have it. That's a bit of a setup that you can do to do live streaming. I do like this battery. There are probably others out there. Just make sure it has that power delivery. As it happens, I did talk to people at Canon. They did recommend this. You can get a mains adapter. Canon do the PD-E1, but I have used, as I've mentioned before, the MacBook Pro. I guess you could use the MacBook as well, and you can just plug that in there as well. And this all seems to work really well, but with anything, do try it, do test it, do make sure that it's going to do the right thing. So thanks for watching. If you do like this, please do like, share and subscribe, and come back for more. Take care.